Part 21. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 202. The 5 people in Nanfan all came out of Zi Ling's paintings. After leaving the small mountain village, Zi Ling drew them into his paintings. As early as in the Tai Golden Immortal Realm, Zi Ling could already use Huadao to lock up thousands of troops. So it's not difficult. She had been wandering around just now, just painting. The painting locked this void sea area, and connected the avenue of heaven and earth, changing many things. At this moment, when they saw Nanfeng, Qing Chen and others appearing next to Zi Ling, the 11 immortal lords were all surprised. Does she have help? Don't worry, these people are just little immortal generals. Haha, is she finally going to run out of strength? I've guessed it a long time ago. Although Huadao is weird, she can't last long. Many immortal kings opened their mouths. Kill. Destroy them all. Immortal Lord Lanming did not hesitate, took one step forward and blasted out with a palm. Huh? No. But when he blasted out his palm, his expression suddenly changed. Because the power of his palm was actually far less than before. It's like lowering a big level. Impossible, I can't display my immortal combat power. Immortal Lord Lanming spoke in shock. Hearing this, the faces of the other 10 immortal lords were also shocked. There seems to be some kind of terrible restriction in the sea area. It can actually block us. How is this possible? Does this mean that in the same realm of immortality, the principles and power this woman masters are actually far superior to ours? If you want to block us, you must at least be an extremely powerful quasi-king. This woman is too scary. In an instant, they all felt a sense of panic. This girl in purple is so scary. You must know that when they are both immortals, if the 11 of them join forces, it can really be said that God will kill God if he blocks it, and Buddha will kill Buddha if he blocks Buddha. Even if the Lord of Heaven comes, he must stay away. However, Zi Ling actually suppressed them with a painting. Don't be alarmed. The more intense our battle is, the greater the backlash she will receive. Kill. Immortal Lord Guangming spoke in a deep voice, took one step forward, and killed Nanfan and the others. Destroy them and make these ants give up. Immortal Lord Yunfan followed closely behind. In an instant, the 11 people took action again. In the sea ahead, Nanfan and others showed a smile. Haha, let me be the first. Duguyuking took one step forward, and his Huangtian brush immediately caused a terrifying ripple. Each stroke was like a divine sword. Not good. Immortal Lord Yunfan, who was the first to rush, changed his expression greatly and tried his best to stop him. However, the terrifying sword intent struck him and drove him back hundreds of miles. Immortal blood is flowing from the claws of his hands. What a terrifying Deluo Jinxian! Immortal Lord Yunfan was startled and spoke. Others were also shocked. Although they could not use the immortal Dao fruit now, they were also invincible beings at the level of Deluo Jinxian. However, now someone can actually force Immortal Lord Yunfan back with one stroke. What a gift! Kill him! Don't let this child grow to the immortal state, otherwise we will be in great trouble. Suddenly, the remaining 10 people rushed towards Duguyuking. Duguyuking said with a smile on his face. These immortals don't seem to be very good. It's time to stop puzzling, it's my turn. Lu Rang also hurriedly stepped forward, holding a pot of grass. With a thought in his mind and guidance with his hands, in an instant, the blades of grass seemed to turn into a divine sword that could destroy the heavens, shining brightly and piercing the sky. The terrifying power almost destroys the world. Impossible. The top 10 immortal kings all changed their expressions. The peerless power emanating from that pot of grass forced them to resist with all their strength. Bang bang bang. The void exploded, and the immortal lord was forced back. They were actually forced back by a blade of grass. Everyone's face was pale, and their eyes were full of incredible expressions. What kind of grass is this? Tisk, tisk, that's it, return to the immortal Lord? It's nothing. Lu Rang was ecstatic when he saw this. This pot of grass did not let him down at all. Hearing these words, the 11 immortal kings were so angry that they almost vomited blood. They are all immortal, respected by thousands of creatures in the fairyland, but today they are actually despised by a native of the lower realm. Sister, can we make them stronger? This will become a massacre, which is meaningless. At this time, Long Xuanhuan spoke and shook his head. Without being able to exert his immortal strength, he felt that the opponents in front of him were worthless at all. Hearing this, Ling was startled for a moment and immediately said, "Good. I allow them to use half of the immortal Dao fruit, please be careful." She immediately picked up the pen and slightly changed the painting. In an instant, some of the restrictions in this void sea area seemed to disappear. My immortal power is back, you ants deserve to die. Immortal Lord Lanming was so angry that he exploded with murderous intent. He roared angrily and took one step forward. The aura of immortality was overwhelming, sweeping over Xiang Nanfan and the others. Be careful. Qing Chen stepped forward with a calm expression and waved the broom lightly. In an instant, it was like the smoke was swept away, like the mist was blown away. The endless immortal pressure was actually blocked by his sweep. His immortal Lord Yunfan and others were even more shocked at this moment. If they suffered a loss just now because of their limited strength, then at this moment, it is really proved that these people in front of them are all monsters. Can he fight against immortality with the appearance of Deluo Jinxian? What a fantasy! Take action! Their 11 strong men are making a comeback. Although it can only exert half of its immortal power, it is still very terrifying. Now, it's finally interesting. Long Xuanhuan took one step forward, and in an instant, thousands of golden lights fell down, and hundreds of ancient dragon souls surrounded him, making him look like an unparalleled dragon. He raised his fist and punched out. The roar of the dragon shook the sky. Long Yang Chuo Chuo. Bang. The void explodes. He and the semi-immortal immortal Lanming actually exchanged blows against each other, and they were evenly matched. I'm coming too. Duguyuking returns to the battlefield. One horizontal stroke, one vertical stroke, one stroke, and one stroke, the sword energy filled the sky and void, making the immortal Lord tremble wherever it went. Come more, if you come less, don't tell me that Mr. Lu is bullying you. Lu Rang was even more arrogant and rushed into the battle group with the pot of grass in his arms. Qing Chen, on the other hand, is like a divine monk, neither greedy nor crazy, taking a leisurely stroll in the courtyard, as if he has regarded this empty sea area as a small courtyard. With a casual sweep of his hand, terrifying avenue storms emerged one after another, enough to frighten even a semi-immortal. 4 against 11. The 11 immortal lords are all mad now. They were challenged by a group of Deluo golden immortals, but they still couldn't fight for a long time. If the news were returned to the immortal realm, they would be completely ruined. So, they use all their methods. Terrifying pressure, gorgeous moves, and various immortal level avenues are falling in the sky. However, Duguyuking and the other 4 became more and more courageous as they fought. Instead of feeling tired, they were in high spirits and seemed to be very happy. Their fighting skills are improving rapidly. In fact, Duguyuking's swordsmanship is integrating and evolving, and he is comprehending the swordsmanship in battle. The same goes for cleaning dust. Long Xuanhuan was simple and crude. Every punch and every palm brought up hundreds of dragon souls, making the sky tremble. And Lu Rang was so excited that he screamed strangely, especially when immortal Yunfan was accidentally hit by his blade of grass, and he found that the blood-colored stem veins on the blade of grass had actually become thicker. That grass, thirsts for blood. Outside the battle group, only Nanfeng and Ziling stood still. "Sister, aren't you going?" Ziling asked Nanfeng. Nanfeng smiled and said, "This kind of fighting is of no use to me. What she is practicing now is the immortal chapter of Emperor Zun's breaking formation song. Unless these people truly demonstrate immortal strength. Otherwise, there is no training for her. Emperor Zun's formation breaking song is a song of war and destruction. Only the most extreme battle can make her realize the truth." Ha ha ha, chop 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 chop. In the battlefield, Lu Rang chased immortal Yunfen, relentlessly pursuing him, cutting countless pieces of grass at random. Immortal Lord Yunfen already has 3 wounds on his body. My darn thing. Immortal Lord Yunfen couldn't help but cursed, "Can this stupid guy be replaced by someone else? He has lost a lot of immortal blood." But Lu Rang tasted the sweetness and caught him, a sheep, lugging its wool. "You pissed me off." Immortal Lord Yunfen was extremely angry. A jade pendant suddenly appeared in his hand. That jade pendant exudes the aura of immortality. "Break all taboos." He roared and crushed the jade pendant. Moment. In the area where he was, the restriction imposed by the painting path was actually briefly broken. His strength skyrocketed, and the aura of immortality at its peak reappeared. He stared at Lu Rang and said, "I'm going to kill you." He struck out with a unique blow. Heyday! This blow was caught off guard, no one expected it. Idiot! Lu Rang was shocked. He drove the blades of grass with all his strength, trying to stop him. But compared with the opponent's immortal power, it is still too weak. Immortal, natural gap, difficult to cross. However, at this moment, a piano sound sounded instantly. The sound of the piano was like an exciting war song, with terrifying sound waves, and the avenue harmonized with it. The sonic wave came and actually blocked most of the killing moves. The remaining aftermath was also blocked by Lu Rang's grass. Seeing this, immortal Lord Yunfen suddenly took a breath of air. He was completely shocked. He just struck a blow, but he really showed his full strength. However, he was actually blocked by 2 De Luo Jinxian. Simply incredible. A monster-level genius, even in the immortal realm, he has never heard of existence of this level. At this moment, Ziling had already painted quickly, so that the suppression in the area where he was restored, and his peak combat power could no longer be displayed. The battle continues. Nanfeng also took a deep breath. Just now, in order to save Lu Rang, she was close to using her full strength and directly used the immortal chapter. Right now, Ziling suddenly turned around and looked in a certain direction. I saw an old woman and a girl walking in that direction. Both of them were carrying lyres on their backs. The breath is very powerful. Astonishingly, they are the Lord Shenkin and the Lord Xuanhuan. After waiting for so long, I finally found you. Lord Shenkin looked at Nanfeng coldly and said, "Tell me, where is that slut of your master? If you don't tell me, you will die." Her powerful aura was released, it was very scary. But Nanfeng and Ziling were both stunned. "Master? Slut? Is there something wrong with this old lady's mind?" Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 203. Nanfeng and Ziling were both confused by the old lady in front of them. Calling master a slut? This kind of perverted curse. I can't bear it. Who is your excellency? Why are you speaking rudely to my master? Ziling spoke angrily. This matter has nothing to do with you. I don't care how you deal with those immortal kings, and you don't want to interfere with my business. However, Shenkin Tianjun spoke in a deep voice and said, "The fact that you can control 11 immortal lords is already your limit, right? Their masters and apprentices have been secretly watching, and they are also frightened by Zi Ling's fear, so even though they know that Zi Ling and Nanfeng are probably related, they are not willing to offend Zi Ling. Lord Shenkin stared at Nanfeng and said, "Tell me, where is that bitch of your master?" A coldness flashed across Nanfeng's face immediately. Without saying a word, she directly put the strings on her knees. In an instant, the sound of the piano was killing and fierce. She felt a familiar aura from these two people. This reminded her of the old flute player who had appeared in the Kangli Mountains before. The other party has the same origin. It's the enemy. So, she took action directly. "You are so brave, you dare to attack me." Lord Shenkin shouted angrily, "Xuanhuan, kill her." She also had to be on guard against Zi Ling, fearing that Zi Ling would be drawn into the painting. Immediately, immortal Xuanhuan behind her walked out with a sneer and said, "It's a pity, little sister, your master and I have a deep relationship. We grew up and played together. Why do you need to force me to kill you?" Hearing this, Nanfeng held back the feeling of vomiting, and the sound of the piano continued. "Let you see what the real Qin Dao is." Immortal Xuanhuan shouted coldly. The lyre had already appeared in the banquet. In an instant, her terrifying piano sound resounded throughout the entire void sea. The killings are fierce and murderous. This is the immortal Lord breaking formation song that she and her master have pondered over countless years. The terrifying murderous intent swept towards the south wind in an instant. "Elder sister." Zi Ling was anxious and wanted to help. "No need, this is exactly what I want." Nanfeng spoke calmly. Her music is like running water, filling the whole world. However, the opponent's immortal level piano sound was as devastating as breaking through hers. Nanfeng did not change color at all, and the next moment, she took a deep breath. Slender hands plucked the strings. She is peaceful, out of the world, like an ethereal fairy. However, the sound of the piano suddenly sounded like thousands of troops marching across the battlefield. Emperor Zun breaks the formation song. Immortal chapter. The musical notes are born and the void roars. In an instant, wherever the sound wave went, everything turned into a black hole. Colliding with the opponent's piano sound, the immortal breath roared. Nanfeng closed his eyes. At this moment, she seemed to be swimming in a sea of golden notes. Those notes flew and moved with her hands as she pleased. Outside, the golden notes are boiling. Two extremely murderous piano sounds, like roaring explosions. Similar. But the rhyme is completely different. The notes of the south wind are clearly more profound and perfect, as if they are a work of art created by nature. However, immortal Xuanhuan seemed to be imitating someone else, imitating poorly, and was instantly outclassed. Her notes are retreating steadily. Not good. She is comprehending the immortality chapter. Lord Shenkin looked at the battlefield and was shocked. Nanfeng is just a Luo Jingxian, but he actually dares to use the hands of an immortal to understand his own immortality. "Kill her with all your might." Lord Shenkin shouted angrily. At this moment, resentment and anger burst out in immortal Lord Xuanhuan's eyes. "That bitch of your master, she's sorry for me. I'm going to kill you and make her suffer for the rest of her life." Immortal blood dripped from her hands. Inspired the deadly sound in the song. At this moment, in what seemed like an endless river, hundreds of millions of creatures were screaming for death. Unparalleled horror. This is the last segment of the Song of Immortal Lord breaking the formation, killing one's life. The terrifying fluctuations did not surprise Nanfeng. She murmured, "It's just an imitation." This kind of persecution actually inspired her inner desire to fight. The sound of the piano changes again. The immortal aura on her body is getting stronger and stronger. Boom! The heavens exploded, and the floating earth turned into powder. She blocked the blow. She is just a quasi-Jun, how can she have such fighting power? Lord Shenkin was shocked. I'm here to help you. She took action directly. The aptitude shown by Nanfan was too evil. You can't let her grow at all. Otherwise there will be a big disaster in the future. Therefore, she has no scruples and fights 2 against 1. A generation of heavenly kings took action, and the torrential notes swept across the entire void sea. This is the existence second only to the immortal king. Even Zi Ling's color changed, and her paintings were all affected by this Tao. She works hard to maintain the painting. It was as if the Milky Way fell from the sky, drowning everything, including the notes of Xuanhuan, Xianjun and Nanfan, all of which were eclipsed. Destruction has almost arrived. A generation of heavenly king takes action, with supreme power. But Nanfan, at this moment, was as quiet as a pool of water. Countless chapters flowed through her heart. The immortal chapter, the last note, she never played. Because she had never been sure of mastering that note before, fearing that it would cause horrific murders. But now, there is no retreat. She plucked the strings. It's like a sealed power reappearing. It was like a suppressed magma bursting out. It was like a cry that spanned the heavens, suddenly sounded. Time and space suddenly boiled. An eternal murderous intention suddenly lurked between the strings of the piano, exposed to the void, and stretched across the sky and the earth. At this moment, there seemed to be a voice with ancient murderous intent. Kill all the ancient clans, and I will stop hundreds of calamities with one piano. It was blood and disaster. That is death and destruction. This note was born in silence, sublimated in death, and formed in hatred and killing. It originated from an ancient strong man who faced thousands of powerful enemies alone and risked his life to achieve the ultimate sublimation. This is, Emperor Zun's formation-breaking song, an immortal chapter. Boom, dash, dash. In an instant. The sky is filled with stars. Billions of rivers are boiling together. The killing intent is like a wave, shocking the world. The ancient murderous intention can defeat tens of millions of enemies. A terrifying whirlpool formed around the south wind, plundering the Tao and spiritual energy of hundreds of millions of miles of void. The fairy spiritual energy of countless worlds was plundered across the long river of space. Even the 11 immortal lords who were fighting fiercely on the other side of the battlefield looked horrified. Their immortal spiritual energy had all been deprived of them at this moment. Immortality is about to be achieved, plundering the laws of heaven and earth, and swallowing the spiritual energy of the universe. Under the hand of the south wind, the sound of the piano is like a river, turning into waves and tsunami. Thousands of troops and horses are all reduced to ashes. No. Above the sky, the expressions of Shenkan Tianjun and Xuanhuan Xianjun changed drastically at this moment, and they were extremely shocked. The notes of holy sound immortal Lord were instantly annihilated, and her whole face turned pale. The sound waterfall of Shenkan Tianjun exploded with a loud bang. She was so shocked that she retreated 10,000 steps and spat out a mouthful of blood. Puff! In an instant, the sky shook and the stars boiled. But the source of the endless killing intention, a piano sound, slowly fell. Big beads and small beads fell onto the jade plate, and finally fell into silence. The south wind has finished its song. Her aura has quietly changed. Immortality is accomplished. At this moment, the sky and the earth were pale. The sea of void is silent. Silent and silent. Everyone was shocked and looked at Nanfan blankly. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 204. Prove immortality. At this moment, everyone was shocked. It's too scary, this woman actually uses immortality and even the Heavenly Lord as a step to step on her own path. Immortal Lan Ming's pupils were filled with horror at this moment. A prodigy of all ages, moreover, the music she played reminded me of. Immortal Lord Yunfan was even more shocked and murmured, the legendary, immortal king breaking formation song. This woman has reached the pinnacle of immortality. I'm afraid ordinary immortals are no match for her. Immortal Illumination was extremely shocked. Moreover, when Nanfeng attained immortality just now, he actually robbed their spiritual energy. Terrible. Even Dugu Yuking, Lu Rang, Long Xuanhuan and others all had complicated expressions. Senior sister Nanfeng is so powerful. Her music seems to be specially designed for killing. One song can make you invincible. They murmured. Great, great, sister, you have become immortal. Zi Ling was very happy. Nanfeng also smiled slightly. The Emperor's formation-breaking song is a song of extreme killing. Just for a moment, I felt like I had witnessed an ancient battle. She murmured, maybe, from the beginning, this song has been full of the tragedy of life and the ruthlessness of war. Therefore, it is called breaking the formation. Then, she raised her eyes and looked at Shenkan Tianjun and Xuanyan Xianjun in front of them. You two imitated my master's music, but you didn't even get the shape, let alone the god of music. Nanfeng shook his head and said, I apologize for your previous rudeness. Maybe I can spare your lives. Hearing this, both Shenkan Tianjun and Xuanyan Immortal looked extremely ugly. Impossible. Immortal Lord Xuanyan spoke bitterly and said, your master has never been sorry to me in this life. She took away everything from me, and I hate her. Hearing this, Zi Ling couldn't help but said angrily, don't talk nonsense. Is a person like you worthy of my master? It's impossible for my master to like you. Hearing this, Immortal Lord Xuanyan felt as if he had been greatly humiliated and said, that bitch of your master. Nanfeng's face darkened, and suddenly a note came out. Boom. Immortal Lord Xuanyan was directly knocked away, vomiting blood and turning pale. When Shenkan Tianjun saw this, his eyes were full of fear, and he didn't dare to take action. Her palms were sweaty. Although her cultivation reached the level of Tianjun, she felt that she had no confidence that she could defeat Nanfeng. Alright Zi Ling, collect these people and let's go back and report back to master. Nanfeng spoke calmly. After a big battle just now, Qing Chen and others have already been trained to the point where they are one step closer to the path of immortality. However, it will take time. Good. Zi Ling spoke immediately and waved her paintbrush. She started working on another painting. The laws of heaven and earth are changing, and space seems to be distorted. No. What does she want to do? Immortal Lan Ming and others were all trembling. They felt that there was actually a terrifying power of the avenue somewhere that seemed to be imprisoning them. I don't accept it. I am an immortal lord. Who can accept me? Dare you? Can't. A group of immortal monarchs were all trembling at this moment, and they tried their best to resist. Zi Ling's face was covered with sweat. The resistance of the 11 immortal lords is difficult to suppress. However, at this moment Nanfeng calmly played the piano. Ah! This kind of war sound directly made a group of immortal monarchs almost lose their minds. As soon as their resistance weakened, Zi Ling immediately increased her speed. One stroke fell. In this sea area, a group of immortal kings seemed to have turned into pencil drawings and were being erased with an eraser. No. Help me. Spare my life. A group of immortal monarchs were wailing and screaming miserably. However, their figures gradually disappeared. Completely disappear from the scene. Seeing this scene, Shenkan Tianjun and Xuanyan Xianjun in the void sea took a breath of air conditioning and were shocked to death. What's going on? A painting. Paint all 11 immortal kings into disappearance. It's too scary. Lu Rang, Dugu Yuking and others returned to Nanfeng and Xiling. Enjoy this battle. Long Xuanhuan smiled, and his use of the dragon soul technique became more and more fluent. It's fun, it's fun. Lu Rang also shouted. They have all made great progress, and real battles can help them improve their perception. And these two. Zi Ling looked at Shenkan Tianjun and Xuanhuan Xianjun, and prepared to write. No, do not want. Immortal Lord Xuanhuan trembled. Shizi, I am the Lord of Heaven, you can't accept me. Shenkan Tianjun's hair stood on end, and she was about to turn around and run away. As for the immortal king breaking the formation, he must first save his life before he has a chance to consider it. But the music of the south wind rose slowly, blocking her way. Do you really want to fight to the death? Holy Qin Tianjun roared. Disrespect my master and you should be punished. Nanfeng just spoke indifferently. The face of Shenkan Tianjun was extremely ugly. Could it be that this battle was going to end in this lower realm? Huh? Why was I teleported here? At this time, a figure suddenly appeared in the void. That was a mighty man. White Tiger Clan, true Lord Xiaoyang. There was a look of confusion on his face. He was ordered to find Bai Xiaoqing, so he crossed over and entered the Xiantian realm directly. However, before that, the rules of the painting that Zi Ling was sitting on still existed, so when an immortal lord-level figure in the immortal realm appeared, they would be directly transported to the sea area. At this moment, seeing him appear, Shenkan Tianjun and Xuanhuan Immortal both looked overjoyed. True Lord, help me. Immortal Lord Xuanhuan hurriedly came to him and said in a trembling voice. They want to harm us. Lord Shenkan also hurriedly stepped forward and said. Zhenjun, it's really the best thing for you to come here, otherwise master and disciple may really die here. Upon hearing this, true Lord Xiaoyang looked puzzled and said. What happened? Shenkan Tianjun said. I would like to report to you, Immortal Lord Qi, we originally came here to pursue the traitor of our lineage, but we never thought that we would encounter these evil stars. She pointed at Nanfan and Xiling and said. These two people are very weird, especially the girl who plays the piano. She must be the disciple of that bitch. She stole our sex Immortal King's formation-breaking song, and in turn used the Immortal King's formation-breaking song against us. She was also willing to fight. The existence of the Immortal King's formation-breaking song was related to the revival of their lineage, and she was unwilling to say it. However, now only the White Tiger clan can be involved in this matter. Only then was it possible to suppress the two girls in front of him. Hearing this, true Lord Xiaoyang was also shocked. Immortal King breaking the formation song. He looked at Nanfan, but he was a little surprised. Why do these people have an aura that is familiar to me, like they are in the Master's fairy palace? His heart sank, and he immediately stepped forward and said. This girl, can you introduce me to your master? Nanfan said calmly. Master never likes to meet outsiders. True Lord Xiaoyang smiled slightly and said. Girl, the Immortal King's breaking the formation song is of great importance, you can't just say you won't see it and you won't see it. There was no way he was going to let this opportunity go. After all, the master of the Immortal King's formation-breaking song was a powerful figure among the Immortal Kings in the past. The music he left behind is of infinite value. Tisk, tisk, I haven't seen such an arrogant person for a long time. Senior sister, take him as a painting slave. Lu Rang spoke directly. Zi Ling is also holding a paintbrush, ready to take action. I advise you not to mess around. True Lord Xiaoyang smiled and said. I can see that you are extraordinary, but you certainly can't hurt me. Struggling will only increase casualties. He leisurely took out a jade pendant. As soon as the jade pendant came out, a terrifying energy surged across the heavens. Immortal King. Is this given by the White Tiger Immortal King? Shenkan Tianjun was shocked, but then he was ecstatic. True Lord Xiaoyang is indeed one of the favorite descendants of the White Tiger Immortal King. There is a high possibility that there is a clone of the Immortal King hidden among them. No matter how weird and powerful the two women in front of me are, so what? Facing the Immortal King, there is only one way to die. Nanfan, Xiling, and others also changed their expressions at this moment. This energy is even stronger than when Immortal King Mingluo appeared before. Senior sister, what should I do? Xiling asked. When it comes to the Immortal King, her painting skills can't do anything to him. The gap is too big. That's the chasm. Nanfan's face also darkened. She was currently far from being able to compete with the Immortal King level existence. She immediately said. You want to see my master? Okay, let's go then. Her idea is simple. Even if he is the Immortal King, he can only snap his fingers in front of the master. Hearing this, True Lord Xiaoyang smiled and said, this is the best. Seeing this, Lord Shenkin and Lord Xuanhuan were even more overjoyed. True Lord Xiaoyang came forward, and he also held a treasure given by the Immortal King. The Immortal King's formation-breaking song will definitely be obtained again. This wave is stable. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 205. Skyline. There was chaos and the people were in panic. Previously, 11 immortals descended into the heavens, and their power was still there. No one knows what will happen next. But they knew that a war must have occurred in the Void Sea. And at this moment, Nanfang, Xiling, and others have already entered the heaven with True Lord Xiaoyang, Lord Shenkin, and Lord Xuanhuan. This world is really extraordinary. Lord Shenkin couldn't help but be surprised. No wonder the 11 immortal kings have to fight for it in the lower realms. This kind of blessed land is rare in the immortal realm. Immortal Lord Xuanhuan also murmured. It's a little weird, no wonder the blood of the Supreme Ancestor can be born. True Lord Xiaoyang was shocked. He planned to finish dealing with the matter of Xianjun breaking the formation song first, and then go to Bai Xiaoqing. After all, he didn't want people to know Bai Xiaoqing's existence. Let's go. Nanfan spoke calmly. They were extremely fast. With one step, they were already in the Kangli mountain range. Soon, they arrived in front of the small mountain village. My master lives in seclusion here. Nanfan spoke calmly. Shenkin, Tianjun and others all looked up. Suddenly, the expressions of the three of them changed drastically. What kind of place is this? The avenues are lined with hidden murderous intentions. The aura of terror is hard to see through, like a forbidden place. Lord Shenkin was shocked. It gives me a feeling of palpitations. Could it be that Tianyan is actually hiding in a forbidden area? Immortal Lord Xuanhuan frowned. This is really troublesome. As for Xiaoyang Zhenjun, looking at the mountain village in front of him, he was completely stunned. His pupils were filled with an incredible look, as if he had seen a living ghost. No. Impossible. How can there be a place like this in this world? Could it be that there is someone like the master hiding here? His body was trembling faintly. At this moment, he finally understood why he felt a familiar aura when he saw Xiling, Nanfang, and others. Here, and where the owner lives. They clearly have very similar auras, Taoist rhymes, and seemingly perfect avenues. Could it be that this is really the place of the holy path? He murmured, dumbfounded. As a true king who can follow the immortal king of the White Tiger clan and serve his master, he also knows some extremely secret secrets. The reason why the White Tiger immortal king follows his master is because the master is an existence standing in the holy way. And the owner's residence is even called the place of the holy path. The holy way is truly a great secret and a great terror in the entire immortal realm. Even among the immortal king level experts, only a few know it. Only those beings who can be called immortal kings can look up to and pursue them. The ultimate in immortality is Hongmeng. Hongmeng Jingxian, also known as the Immortal King. And when Hongmeng Avenue reaches the end, it can be called the Immortal Emperor. Those who have reached that realm are as rare as a phoenix among the immortal kings who are like stars, and they are all figures who shock the past and the present. But above Hongmeng, there is another sky. Holy Way. Therefore, he actually saw such a place here. How can you not be surprised? Everyone, do you still want to go in? Nanfan spoke calmly. Looking at these three people, Zhuge and others immediately smiled. This small mountain village, not only one or two immortal kings were scared away. It's a pity that the second uncle is not at the entrance of the village today, otherwise we would let them feel the confidence of the restricted area. Lu Rang had a bad smile on his face. What are you afraid of? However, Shenkan Tianjun gritted his teeth in an instant and said, True Lord, with the immortal king's clone here, all restricted areas can be leveled. If I get the immortal king's formation breaking song, I will offer it to the White Tiger Immortal King immediately. Please refer to it. She was willing to risk everything. She believed that even if it was a restricted area, people of the White Tiger Immortal King's level were qualified to set foot in it. For this reason, she would rather give away all the Immortal King breaking formation songs. However, True Lord Xiaoyang took a deep breath and shouted suddenly. Shut up. There was a vibrato in his words, he was afraid. Damn it, can all restricted areas be leveled? If these words are heard by the beings here, it will not be as simple as a catastrophe is coming, it will simply be a rhythm that will make the sky fall. The clone of the White Tiger Immortal King? Stop making trouble. Even if your grandfather comes, your legs will be weak. Hearing this, Shenkan Tianjun's face suddenly froze. Why did Xiaoyang Zhenjun act like this? Immortal Lord Xuanhuan was startled when he saw this, but he bit his lip and showed a pitiful look, and begged. Husband, please help me once. My senior sister's bitch must be hiding here. Please help me destroy this forbidden area and kill that bitch. After killing her, the two of us will stay together and fly together, jointly prove the Hongmeng Avenue. As she spoke, she quietly revealed her snow-white chest. But when Xiaoyang Zhenjun heard this, he was so frightened that he almost lost his soul in fear. Stop talking. He suddenly grabbed Immortal Xuanhuan by the neck, his eyes turned red, and said. You say one more word and I'll kill you. He is simply manic. Seeing this, everyone was stunned. What kind of medicine did this true Lord Xiaoyang take? Lord Shenkan was shocked. What happened to true Lord Xiaoyang? What words irritated true Lord Xiaoyang? Could it be that bitch? Could it be that true Lord Xiaoyang likes immortal Lord Tianyin, so he becomes angry when his disciple insults Tianyin? She immediately said hurriedly. Zhenjun, do you like Tianyin? Don't worry, after catching her, Xuanhuan Tianyin will be sent to your bed. As long as you take action to destroy this small mountain village. When true Lord Xiaoyang heard this, he almost vomited blood. His legs were shaking, and he suddenly slapped him. Snapped. Shenkan Tianjun was caught off guard and was blown away, hitting him dozens of meters away with smoke and dust flying everywhere. I beg you, please stop talking. True Lord Xiaoyang almost cried. Why are the two masters and apprentices so ignorant? They are getting darker and darker with each passing day. What should I do if they cause trouble for themselves? Zhenjun, you are my fiancé, we have an engagement. Immortal Lord Xuanhuan was crying. True Lord Xiaoyang's heart trembled. He waved his hand hurriedly and said. No, I can't afford a wife like you, I can't afford it. From today on, I, the White Tiger clan, will sever all ties with your Xuanhuan fairy city. The engagement is void, completely void. Hearing this, Lord Shenkan and Lord Xuanhuan, who had just climbed up from the pit, were stunned. Why? What exactly did it offend the White Tiger clan? To actually make True Lord Xiaoyang so angry? However, True Lord Xiaoyang turned around and looked at Nanfeng, Ziling, and others. He looked scared, with cold sweat all over his face, and said, "Brothers and sisters, you heard it, it has nothing to do with me, it has nothing to do with me. It's all their nonsense. I don't mean any disrespect. I don't mean any disrespect." Nanfeng, Ziling, Lurang and others were all confused. What's going on with this guy? She was so calm and chic just now, and she was still holding the jade pendant of the immortal king's clone. In the blink of an eye, that's it. Although they knew that the small mountain village had a deterrent effect, they never imagined that it was so powerful. "Brother and sister, won't you forgive me?" True Lord Xiaoyang looked at Nanfan and others eagerly. To be honest, he was so scared that he wanted to run away. But don't dare to run away. How could he, a little true lord of the White Tiger clan, be contaminated by this kind of karma? If he doesn't get a word of forgiveness from others, this matter won't be over. He may not be able to sleep peacefully even in his dreams, and the entire White Tiger clan will not be able to sleep. If his grandfather knew that he had actually been involved in such a big cause and effect, and had offended such a being, he would have to split himself into 8 pieces. Forgive. Nanfan was a little confused. She was still a little confused about True Lord Xiaoyang's reaction. Seeing this, Xiaoyang Zhenjun knelt down on the spot and cried out, "This goddess, I really don't know. I am innocent. I am a good person, please forgive me, brothers and sisters. I kowtow to you." He kowtowed directly on the spot. Seeing this, Lurang and others were even more shocked. What kind of rhythm is this? On the other side, Lord Shenkin and Lord Xuanhuan were dumbfounded at this moment. Completely dumbfounded. What is going on? That is the true lord of the White Tiger clan in the immortal realm. He is the most beloved descendant of the White Tiger immortal king. Holding the jade pendant that contains the distraction of the White Tiger immortal king. However, he actually kneeled down in front of this group of people, pleading. One sentence. Forgive. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 206. Seeing the reaction of True Lord Xiaoyang, Lord Shenkin and Lord Xuanhuan were extremely frightened at this moment. It's over. Completely finished. At this moment, Shenkin Tianjun was trembling all over and was weak and exhausted. Her heart was shattered by fear. What kind of existence did you provoke? It can make even the White Tigers fear becoming like this. Could it be that the forbidden area here is the kind in the legend? Immortal Xuanyan's face turned white and he sat down on the ground, unable to get up. Nanfan, Xiling, and others all looked at each other, feeling at a loss. Hey, look, how scared people are. Lurang clicked his tongue and shook his head. Forget it, now that he's like this, let's forget it, right? Xiling also looked at Nanfan. After all, such a grown man was kneeling on the ground, crying. It's so disgusting. Hearing this, Nanfan also said calmly. In that case, let's forget about it. I don't want you or the people behind you to bother you again in the future. Hearing this, True Lord Xiaoyang immediately felt as if he had been granted amnesty and burst into tears of gratitude. Thank you, goddess, thank you, goddess. He saluted, then hurriedly turned around and ran away, not daring to stop even one step. True Lord. Seeing him fleeing, Shenkin Tianjun and both of them shouted in fear. It's over, the White Tiger clan has all escaped, what will they do? Ziling, draw. Nanfan spoke calmly. She was not prepared to let go of these 2 people who had repeatedly disrespected their master. Okay. Ziling took action immediately. Shenkan Tianjun and Xuanhuan Xianjun screamed miserably. However, at this moment, they were frightened. With Nanfan helping them, soon, Shenkan Tianjun and Xuanhuan Xianjun disappeared. In situ. Received by Zi Ling. Senior sister, no one will dare to mess with you in the future. These are 13 immortal level painting slaves. Lu Rang couldn't help but speak, with a complicated look on his face. Want to fight Zi Ling? Be prepared to be beaten by more than a dozen immortal kings at any time. He, let's go, don't keep master waiting. They went back immediately. At this moment, in the sea outside the heaven, Xiaoyang Zhenjun escaped all the way here, and he breathed a long sigh of relief. So lucky. It is simply a blessing from God. He was so excited that he wanted to cry. He actually came back alive from that terrifying environment. I have to go back quickly and report to the master. He left immediately and broke into the fairyland. After entering the fairyland, he rushed to his master's residence without stopping. Shortly after, he finally appeared in that mysterious area. The avenues are drooping, and the rich and powerful fairy spirit is inexhaustible, making people extremely comfortable. But at this moment, he was even more shocked. Comparing it at this moment, the small mountain village was so similar to this place, so similar. He hurried there. Soon, he arrived in front of the immortal palace. His grandfather, the White Tiger Immortal King, was still watching the gate at this moment. When he saw him coming back, he couldn't help but stand up and said excitedly, "Xiaoyang, you're back, how about it? Did you bring back the inheritor of the ultimate ancestral blood?" However, true Lord Xiaoyang had an ugly face and said bravely, "Grandpa, I didn't find Bai Xiaoqing." Hearing this, the White Tiger Immortal King was suddenly startled and said, "Didn't find it? How come I didn't find it?" That was a genius who even the ancient powerful would issue decrees to protect. If something went wrong, he would become a sinner throughout the ages. "Grandpa, I encountered a great horror." True Lord Xiaoyang gritted his teeth and said, "That is a place of the holy path." Hearing this, the White Tiger Immortal King's body trembled. He lost his voice and said, "Impossible. How can the land of the Holy Way reappear before the immortal catastrophe comes? The place of the Holy Way? This is absolutely impossible. Looking at the two realms of immortals and demons, and the millions of lower realms, this is the only place of the Holy Way. The owner here is also a unique existence in heaven and earth. There will be no other place like this in the world. There is no second person in the world who can transcend this world. Unless the immortal catastrophe has come. Otherwise, the land of the Holy Way will never reappear in the world." But Bai Xiaoyang continued, "Grandpa, it's absolutely true, it's absolutely true, it's a small mountain village, but it has a perfect avenue and a perfect Taoist charm. My grandson will not be mistaken." The White Tiger Immortal King has been watching Bai Xiaoyang for a long time, but he still can't believe it. "I will report this matter to the master." After saying that, he transformed into a human form and turned around to enter the palace. Within the immortal palace, the girl in the white dress is enjoying the roses in the garden. Those roses bloomed extremely beautifully and flexibly, as if they were the most beautiful flowers in the sky and on earth, with unparalleled charm. On the petals, there is a little condensation, exuding indescribable spiritual energy. If you are in the outside world, a drop can help someone break through. The girl in the white dress looked at the most beautiful flowers that had been planted, but she still felt a little unhappy. Over the years, she has stayed here and tried to find something fun to do for herself, such as collecting a few tigers and lions to visit her home. For example, plant some elixirs, flowers, etc. with your own hands. But this kind of life made her feel more and more boring. Lonely. She sighed slightly and said, "Although the flowers are beautiful, There is always something missing. What's missing? She tilted her head and thought for a while, then her big autumn eyes suddenly lit up and she said, I know, lack of butterflies. A big group of them. Flowers bloom, but they still need butterflies to be vivid and lively. After she figured it out, she smiled instantly, her beauty surpassed everything else. She decided she had to find some butterflies to raise. It's a pity that we can't find the colorful disc, meteor feather butterfly, or brilliant imperial butterfly here. She sighed again slightly. Master, Wang Ke wants to see you. At this time, an old voice came from outside. The girl in the white dress put away her imaginative thoughts and said, Come in. The silver-haired white tiger immortal king immediately walked behind the girl in the white dress and said respectfully, Master, my grandson Bai Xiaoyang is back. The girl in the white dress glanced at him lightly and said, Tell me why I didn't bring back your descendant. She could tell at a glance that something must have gone wrong with the assigned mission. Master Qi, my grandson said that he encountered a place similar to the master's manor in the lower world. He was uneasy, and even now when he reported it, he still felt it was ridiculous. I am afraid that I am not old and confused. How could I believe that there is a second place of the holy path in this world? When the girl in the white dress heard this, her long eyelashes trembled slightly, and her big eyes looked at the white tiger immortal king in confusion. With just one glance, she already understood that the white tiger immortal king was not lying. Similar to my manner, she murmured. Could it be that there is really some cause and effect? It's strange. These things are too coincidental. She thought. Well, in that case, let's go and have a look. Staying here all day is quite boring. She thought, immediately stood up and said, Lead the way, I'll go play there. Hearing this, the white tiger immortal king was instantly shocked, with an incredible look on his face. Owner. Actually want to take action personally? Ever since the master accepted himself, the golden lion, and others as slaves and established this small world hundreds of thousands of years ago, the master has never left. This time, it actually alarmed her. Yes. The white tiger immortal king spoke immediately. Then, the girl in the white dress walked out of the palace. The person watching the door was replaced by the terrifying golden lion king. The girl in the white dress didn't even look at the lion and said calmly, Remember to water my roses. After saying that, she took a step forward, and suddenly she and the white tiger immortal king disappeared from where they were. The golden lion king bowed his head respectfully and said, As you command. In the hall, on the bird stand, the causal bird croaked. Cause, cause, cause. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 207. Skyline. Kangli Mountains, in a small mountain village. Xiling Nanfan and others have returned, and each of their faces is quite happy. This battle has greatly improved them. Especially Nanfan became immortal in one battle. When Nanfan walked into this small courtyard, his whole aura changed further. The previously ethereal aura became more holy. The Tao Yun, Tao Zi, etc. in this small courtyard are perfecting Sister Nanfan's Tao. Zi Ling was surprised to find out. The enlightenment in the outside world seems to be incomplete, but only in the Master's courtyard can the perfect path be obtained. Long Xuanhuan and others were also surprised. When Gongya saw this, she felt emotional. When she first came here, Nanfeng and the others were not even golden immortals. But now, the worst ones have reached the realm of Deluo Jingxian. Demon Lord, you are also immortal. Why do the Tao fruits you have proven in this life, as well as Miss Nanfan and Miss Xiling, Make me feel so powerful. Those immortals who are far beyond the immortal realm are like gods. Gongya asked Xianning. The Tao here, is perfect. Xianning's big eyes were a little complicated and she said. Senior Li, I'm afraid it involves some of the ultimate secrets of this world. Hearing this, Gongya was also startled. How's it going? Did you have fun in this group fight? Li Fan also smiled when he saw them coming back. They are all a group of young people, so playful. Fortunately, no one was injured. Master Qi, this is so much fun. Lu Rang looked excited and said, anytime there is a fight in the future, I will take care of it. He wished he could fight like this a few more times to make his grass grow faster. Nanfan stepped forward and saluted, saying, Master, my disciple met two powerful people who played the piano. I learned from them and gained a lot. She still looked a little excited. Immortal. In the past, this was a state that was unimaginable. But now she has crossed over. Li Fan was surprised when he heard this. Didn't he go to fight in a group? I actually met a piano player? But then he suddenly realized that it seemed that this fight might not be successful. After all, Huo Linger and the others were in the calligraphy and painting business, and most of the people who came to grab the business were also colleagues. A group of people who play calligraphy and painting all day long are mostly gentle people. Maybe they just held a negotiation and held some calligraphy and painting competitions. And some of the disciples he sent out happened to be good at calligraphy and painting. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but smile slightly, looked at Xiling and said. It seems that your painting method is quite good when looking at the entire outside world. After all, Zhuge Yuking's calligraphy is still at the basic level in terms of calligraphy and painting, and it is unlikely that he can suppress the crowd. Therefore, his paintings must be Xiling's, so that those who are trying to steal business will retreat. After all, he quite admired Xiling's talent and current level. Hearing this, Xiling was shocked. The master really had a plan. Others are also more and more impressed. Master always does things casually, seemingly not caring about anything, but everything is only in the palm of his hand. Although he has been in the small courtyard, he is very familiar with the battle situation in the outside world. Even the details such as senior sister Xiling's action to suppress more than a dozen immortal lords, the master has a clear grasp of it. Thank you master for your approval. Xiling immediately smiled. And at this moment, in the heart of the Kangli Mountains, the boiling magma is rolling. Bang bang bang. Like a strong heartbeat. A heart like lava is beating. A lot of blood seeped into this place. During this period, the blood of powerful people such as Xianxian, Tianxian, Jingxian, Tai Jingxian, etc. was poured out countless times on the land of heaven. Recently, the blood of more than a dozen immortal generals has been spilled. In addition to the increasingly rich fairy spirit in the entire heaven, the heart hidden here may benefit the most. Next to the lava, in the distance, a blood shadow stared closely at the huge heart. The inheritance in the immortal Dao Palace has been passed down. Your ashes already have support. Are you planning to survive in this magma forever? Admit me, I will go to the immortal realm to avenge you and the people of the first heaven realm. Xueying spoke in a low voice. But the heart is still beating, and every time it beats, there will be a wave, forcing him back. You only have me, you can only choose me. The blood shadow screamed wildly, it stared at the heart and said. Since you are unwilling to follow me, then I will destroy your reason. I know, you have only instinct for a long time. Do you think that the blood flowing from the outside world really just makes you stronger? Don't forget, blood always carries the origin of killing and darkness. I will destroy you. The blood shadow shouted, and with a roar, dark and bloody power spread all over the surrounding magma. In an instant, the cold power suddenly raged in this space. Even the rolling magma suddenly slowed down and was actually gradually solidifying. The temperature is too low. Countless cries of resentment sounded, as if the common people were being slaughtered, containing the unwillingness and hatred of hundreds of millions of creatures. It was born out of the blood and chaos of the first heaven. Soon. In this space, the magma solidified directly. Only cold ashes remain. And that heart has been surrounded by this dark power. Bang bang bang. The heart beat violently. It seems to be resisting this encirclement. But at this moment, the blood shadow suddenly turned into a vast river of blood. It seems that in the ancient world, the blood of countless creatures gathered together. In the river of blood, the voices of countless innocent souls were calling. Calling for killing. Calling for revenge. Calling for destruction. That is the curse of billions of creatures in the first heaven. At this moment, the huge heart suddenly began to tremble. A crack suddenly appeared. Xuanhuan was right. The heart absorbed the immortal blood, but it also left the seeds of blood resentment in the heart itself. When this kind of call from the same source of millions of creatures appears, the remaining instinct of the heart cannot resist the erosion of the blood shadow. You are mine. I am destined to rise in this life, I will rebuild the first heaven, I will kill the immortal realm and kill all the immortal kings. In the turbulent river of blood, a hand made of blood suddenly grabbed the heart. The trembling heart was directly caught by the blood shadow into the Dao Tao blood river. At this moment, this area instantly turned into chaos. It's like heaven and earth are repeating themselves. It's like life being born. It's like something is about to come out of ignorance. Soon, the chaos dissipated. The blood river disappeared, and in its place, there was a white fleshy thing. The thing was white, like white meat, but there were countless blood stains in it, like disordered blood vessels. If there are knowledgeable people here who are familiar with ancient and modern times, they will definitely be shocked, because this thing can be called chaos meat mushroom. Chaos meat mushroom is a kind of Hongmeng spiritual essence. According to legend, some immortal kings will turn into matter belonging to heaven and earth after their death. This change is like the decomposition of a dead animal body and finally the growth of a fruit tree. It is the most original way of operation between heaven and earth. And if one can obtain the Hongmeng substance, as long as one takes one sip, it is said that one will have the opportunity to attain the enlightenment of Hongmeng. The blood on the surface of this mass of matter is surging. The white substance is the Hongmeng spiritual substance reborn from chaos, and what is arranged on it, tightly wound like blood vessels, is the shadow of blood. The heart from the immortal king had been shattered just now enough and turned into a substance that no longer belonged to anyone, but was a product of heaven and earth. Blood shadow became the master of this mass of matter. Ha 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 ha. A dark and strange voice suddenly sounded. On that white fleshy thing, a strange mouth opened. I am the first heaven, the immortal king. I have returned to the world, and the whole world will tremble under my feet. The words were almost crazy, only blood can allow me to quickly and completely control this mass of matter. Only fear and destruction can allow me to quickly attain enlightenment. The white fleshy thing suddenly rushed upward. It passed through countless layers and was about to appear in the heaven. Celestial beings. I will give you eternity. Become my blood food for eternity. At this moment, in the small mountain village, Li Fan stretched and walked out of the room. The sun was just right. Lu Rang was the first to get up. He was fetching water to irrigate the vegetable fields early in the morning. He is becoming more and more like a farmer. Even Aunt Wang in the village said that he was a good farmer and wanted to introduce him to a wife. It's just that Lu Rang likes grass more than women. On the other side, Wu Dade was sleepy-eyed by the doghouse. He recently got into trouble with that little black dog. During the day, he walked the dog specifically, taking the little black dog to places like chicken coops and ponds. Li Fan thought that maybe he walked the dog too frequently and the little black dog was too tired. He often walked to the chicken coops and ponds. The little black dog can't walk and always likes to lie down. At night, Lu Rang seemed afraid to disturb the chickens and the pond. The little black dog became very energetic and bit Wu Dade every day. Wu Dade was still crying and howling at first, but later, his tolerance became stronger and stronger, and he simply lived with the dog. This shocked Li Fan. It was really cruel to accept this disciple. I have never heard of raising a dog for the sake of food and accommodation. Moreover, sometimes, Wu Dade seemed to be talking to the little black dog. This made Li Fan very worried about his mental state. Seeing Wu Dade's haggard look, Li Fan couldn't bear it anymore and said, "Disciples, let's go. Today, while the sunshine is good, let's go out to collect some folklore. I'll take you to the outdoors to prepare a barbecue." In his previous life, Li Fan had always been a young man who loved barbecue. In this life, he hasn't had one for a long time. When they heard that they were going out to have a barbecue, a group of disciples felt very fresh. "Master, what is barbecue?" Zi Ling's big eyes were filled with curiosity. "It sounds like it's very hot." Nanfeng murmured. "Is this a kind of avenue of flames? Does Master want to teach us the art of barbecue?" Duguyuking is in high spirits. Li Fan was startled for a moment. Yes, it seems that none of his disciples have ever had barbecue. He immediately smiled and said, "Barbecue is a way of cooking, using fire to cook food, such as barbecue." Hearing this, a group of disciples were very happy. "Wow, that's great. Master is awesome. It looks like fun." A group of disciples are looking forward to it. "Gongya, go to the kitchen and help me get the luggage from the third cabinet." Li Fan smiled and spoke. Gongya went immediately and came back shortly with a box. "Master, what is inside this?" Zhang Li asked. "Barbecue tools and condiments." Li Fan rubbed his hands. He had been in this world for so many years, and under the guidance of the system, he also prepared a set of barbecue tools for himself, including various seasonings that could not be found in this world. Hearing this, many disciples were stunned. "By the way, pack up the ingredients, Xuanhuan, go catch 2 fish, and I will cook grilled fish for you. Yuking, go and catch a chicken. You need a tender hen. This way the beggar's chicken will be delicious. You can also pick up more eggs. Lu Rang, prepare some potatoes and vegetables." Li Fan immediately gave orders one by one. But after listening to Li Fan's words, a group of disciples were shocked and looked at Li Fan stupidly. It was like hearing something incredible. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 208. After hearing Li Fan's arrangement, Long Xuanhuan, Lu Rang and others were shocked. They were all stunned. Catch some fish and grill them. Catch a chicken and make it a beggar's chicken? I can't do it, Master. Long Xuanhuan's expression suddenly changed, and he begged directly. "Master, please don't eat fish. Whatever you want to eat, I will go to the outside world to hunt it for you now. You can't eat this fish. God, that's a dragon, a real dragon. There may only be a few left in the world." Moreover, Long Xuanhuan was learning from those real dragons. If they were eaten, he would be heartbroken. Lu Rang also swallowed a mouthful of saliva and said anxiously, "Master, I think the chickens in our yard have been raised for such a long time and they are so diligent in laying eggs. It would be a pity to eat them. No, we definitely can't." He was really scared. Catching a chicken? Isn't this asking yourself to be killed? Nanfan also hurriedly persuaded, "Master, we don't eat meat, we all like to be vegetarian." Zi Ling also opened her big and pitiful eyes. "The fish is so cute, how can you eat the fish? Even the little white cat is meowing meow, meow." Li Fan was stunned when he saw this. What's going on? Hello. Don't you just want to eat some meat? Why do these lands have feelings for the fish and chickens raised at home? Li Fan was speechless for a while. But with so many disciples begging for mercy, he couldn't really eat it anymore, lest the disciples be sad. At this time, Wu Dade said expectantly, "Master, what do you think about eating dog meat? Dog meat must be delicious." Next to him, the little black dog's hair suddenly exploded. Woof woof woof. The little black dog bit Wu Dade on the butt. Ah! Wu Dade screamed miserably, "Damn dog, let go." One person and one dog were involved in a fierce fight. When Li Fan saw this scene, his head was full of black threads. What kind of disciples had he accepted? "That's all, pack some fruits and vegetables. I'll go to Aunt Wang at the entrance of the village to ask for some." Li Fan had no choice but to compromise. In his opinion, these disciples had feelings for every plant, tree, chicken, and fish in the courtyard. "So I couldn't bear to eat it?" This was understandable, so Li Fan decided to just go to the villagers and ask for some. Anyway, there were quite a few chickens and pigs in the village. Hearing this, Zi Ling and others breathed a sigh of relief. And in the pond, the goldfish, which seemed frozen and did not dare to move, has only now resumed swimming. In the chicken coop, those chickens that were lying down and shivering now stood up again. "Let's go." Li Fan spoke immediately. Immediately, about 10 people in the yard all went out with Li Fan. "Oh, it's Xiao Li, where are you playing? I didn't go far when I met Aunt Wang. She was sprinkling corn kernels to feed the chickens. The weather is nice. I'm taking my apprentices out for a picnic. Aunt Wang, can you lend me a chicken?" Li Fan smiled and spoke. "Look what you said, you and Aunt Wang were talking about borrowing it." Aunt Wang bent down, immediately grabbed 2 fat hens, handed them to Li Fan's disciples, and said with a smile, "Come on." Du Guyuking hurriedly stepped forward to take it, while Lu Rang hurriedly handed Aunt Wang a small basket of fruits, including cherry tomatoes, small oranges, etc. They are all produced by Li Fan Xiaoyuan. "Look, you're just being polite." Aunt Wang said to Li Fan, took the fruit basket, then looked at Lu Rang and said, "Boy Lu, the girl I introduced to you last time is pretty and has a good childbirth. What do you think?" She was very pleased with Lu Rang's crop style. Being teased, Lu Rang blushed a little and said, "Thank you Aunt Wang, thank you very much, but I prefer grass." Aunt Wang was startled for a moment, covered her mouth and smiled, saying, "Young people are so impatient, so direct. You haven't married someone yet, and you are thinking about this." Lu Rang looked at Aunt Wang. All the disciples looked at Lu Rang. Li Fan felt a little weird and immediately laughed and said, "Thank you Aunt Wang, let's go." Immediately, the master and apprentice said goodbye to Aunt Wang. All the way out of the small mountain village, the villagers knew that Li Fan was going to have a picnic, and they all enthusiastically sponsored him. Some gave chickens, ducks, and geese, and some gave little suckling pigs. Someone even gave Li Fan 2 fish that he was thinking about. It's completely enough. They walked out of the mountain village, the sun was shining brightly and the spring breeze was blowing on their faces. The ecological environment in heaven is getting better and better, and the air is a little fresher. Li Fan praised. Everyone's expressions were complicated. The aura of the fairy spirit was so strong that it couldn't be more intense. But for Master, the air was just a little bit fresher. Li Fan took them towards the Kangli Mountains. After all, the scenery is the best there. Not long after, they appeared under a cliff. A waterfall flows down from the cliff, like a white dragon. The water in the pool is clean, surrounded by a vast open space with lush vegetation, tranquility, and harmony. The scenery is extremely elegant. Li Fan and the others settled here and began to arrange things. Du Guyuking volunteered to kill the fish. Lu Rang and Lin Jujhan helped him. Gongya was cutting vegetables beside him, and Xian Ning was also learning, but the cuts were of different lengths and thickness, which made everyone laugh. Not long after he came out, Wu Date got into trouble with the little black dog again. One person and one dog fought together, which only added a lot of fun. What a joy! Zi Ling felt this atmosphere, and her handsome face was filled with happiness. She fingered the paintbrush to describe this scene, hoping to keep this happiness forever in her writing. Teacher not only taught us the Dao, he also made us become, like a family. The south wind is also warm in the eyes, and the music of the piano is gentle and happy. This kind of lively, casual, and happy scene is almost impossible to see in the world of spiritual practice. Fighting over each other and killing each other is the norm. But because of Li Fan, in a sense, they lived the lives of ordinary people and realized the happiness that belongs only to ordinary people. A family that happily eats and plays is happiness. Is not it? Li Fan was also quite cheerful and said, Zhang Li, come here, let me have a talk with you as my master. Zhang Li immediately placed the chessboard and started playing chess with Li Fan. Xiaobai jumped into Li Fan's arms and lay down to sleep. Everything is in perfect order. And at this moment, above the southern domain, a white-haired old man followed a girl in a white dress, and they appeared in the air. According to what my grandson said, that place is down there. The White Tiger Immortal King reports. Yeah, almost. The girl in the white dress spoke calmly and took a step forward. The next moment, the two of them appeared in front of the small mountain village. This place, is really the place of the holy path. As soon as he appeared, a look of shock flashed across the eyes of the White Tiger Immortal King. This rhyme. This rule. That perfect scent. Really, very similar to the master's manner. Could it be that there is actually a person like the master hiding here? An existence that stands in the holy way? The White Tiger Immortal King was shocked. How could this be possible? The girl also looked at the small mountain village, with a look of surprise flashing through her autumn-like eyes. It's really interesting, it's really a little world. She murmured in a low voice and immediately stepped forward. Owner. The White Tiger Immortal King's expression changed. The situation here was unknown. It was obviously very scary. How could he enter it easily? The girl in the white dress was also confused for a moment. The smell here. It's even richer than where I live. Could it be that he really came from the underworld? No, we must find out. If there are people in this world who also come from the underworld, then I must find out their origins. She was confused, but still said, don't be afraid, you will know when you go in and take a look. The White Tiger Immortal King looked extremely nervous, but the masters had already entered, so he could only follow. The two entered the small mountain village. What a terrible murderous intention. If I take one step forward, it feels like my life no longer belongs to me. I can be killed at any time here. The White Tiger Immortal King murmured, as a generation of immortal kings, one day he would actually have such a feeling of being a slave to others. He felt again that this place was terrible. But the girl in the white skirt remained calm and looked at the plants and trees in the village calmly, but her eyes became more serious. The more you look at it, the less simple it becomes. Little girl, where are you going? At this time, an old voice suddenly came. I saw Uncle Zhao basking in the sun on the side of the road. When he saw a stranger coming, he lazily asked questions. Seeing Uncle Zhao, the White Tiger Immortal King trembled and almost broke out in cultivation to escape. Because there are actually living creatures in such a terrifying place? How terrible! However, he suppressed his impulse. The master is here, the master is here. He took a deep breath and told himself to calm down. The girl in the white skirt looked at Mr. Zhao, with a hint of curiosity in her big, bright eyes, and said immediately, "Old man, let's find someone." "Find someone?" Uncle Zhao was confused for a moment, but then he smiled and said, "I'm here to see Xiao Li, right? Only people from outside often come to see Xiao Li." The girl in the white dress had a flash of thought in her eyes and said, "Yes, I'm here to see Xiao Li. Old man, did he make the crutches for you?" She couldn't stop staring at Uncle Zhao crutch. The aura of the holy path on that crutch is extremely strong. In fact, even the weapon refiners in the underworld would have difficulty forging it. Uncle Zhao smiled and said, "Yes, only Xiao Li has such skillful craftsmanship and such a kind heart." As he spoke, he looked at the white tiger immortal king and said, "Is this your grandpa? Do you want to ask Xiao Li to get a crutch for your grandpa? It's not the right time." He shook his head. Hearing this, the white tiger immortal king's legs went weak and he almost peed in fear. "Grandfather," he hurriedly said to Uncle Zhao. "No, you misunderstood, this is my young lady." If it were someone else who dared to say such words, he would raise his hand and destroy him, so much so that his soul would not be left. However, at first glance, the old man in front of him seemed to have a terrifying figure behind him. What a joke, can an old man who can hold Hongmeng artifacts be Yu's generation? He could tell at a glance that the crutch was Hongmen's weapon, and it was the kind that he, the white tiger immortal king, could never refine in his lifetime. Even though he was plainly dressed and easygoing, the white tiger immortal king knew at a glance that he was a hidden giant and rich man. Uncle Zhao suddenly said, "Oh, it turns out she is a young lady from a wealthy family." The girl in the white dress didn't mind at all, but asked, "Old man, Xiao Li. Where has he gone?" Uncle Zhao grinned and said, "He took his disciples to prepare a barbecue. It's probably somewhere in the mountains." A flash of doubt flashed in the eyes of the girl in the white dress. Barbecue? Could it be some kind of Taoist ritual? But she didn't ask any more questions. She saluted politely and said, "Thank you, old man, let's go find him in the mountains." She turned and left. The white tiger immortal king also followed closely behind. He didn't want to stay in this mountain village at all. After leaving the mountain village, the girl in the white skirt led the white tiger immortal king towards the Kangli Mountains. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 209. Not long after, the girl in the white dress and the white tiger immortal king appeared in the Kangli Mountains. "Master, this way." Since leaving the small mountain village, the white tiger immortal king has taken advantage of his tiger nose. A person who walked out of that scary little mountain village would naturally carry the unique Taoist charm of the small mountain village, and his nose could smell it. Ever since, he led the girl in the white dress forward. Not long after, they walked into a forest. On one side of the forest, there was the faint sound of waterfalls, mixed with bursts of laughter. "Master, it should be right in front." The white tiger immortal king was extremely solemn. "Don't be afraid," the girl in the white dress said, but there was a nervous look on her face at this moment. "After all, here, you are very likely to see your own kind." Listening to the laughter coming from the front, she moved forward step by step. Finally, after walking through the woods, I saw the scene beside the waterfall and on the grassy grass ahead. It was a group of young people, both men and women, who set up a bonfire and grilled various delicacies. There are grilled chicken legs, grilled chicken wings, baked potato slices, etc., and there are also several iron racks. Those charcoal exudes a different kind of power. Under the grilling, the food matures quickly. And those people put various condiments on the mature food and continued to cook it, and the alluring fragrance overflowed from a distance. "Zhuzheng, I'm doing dark cooking." It's all burnt and inedible. Duguyuking and Linju were grilling chicken wings, but they failed to control the heat and a piece of chicken wing was burnt. Duguyuking looked at the chicken wings and wanted to cry without tears. Don't be afraid, senior brother, I will bake the next piece using Tianchi Tao's method. There will be no problem. Lin Juchhan said with a smile, throw away this burnt one, our beggar's chicken should be ready. Don't throw it away. Give it to me if it's burnt. Dogs will eat it if it's not eaten by humans. Wu Dade was gnawing on the chicken legs and yelling, but then he started to wail, and the little black dog's woof sound started again, and the human dog war started again. You bitch, forget it, just give me the chicken legs. The sound of Wu Dade struggling sounded. There was a burst of laughter in the audience. On the other side, Long Xuanhuan looked at a piece of grilled golden and translucent fish, and suppressed his words for a long time. No, I can't eat it, although this is an ordinary spiritual fish, not a dragon, but if I eat it, it will be disrespectful to the senior dragon clan. Junior brother Xuanhuan, do you want to eat or not? If not, I will eat. At this time, Lu Rang grabbed the grilled fish and started to speak. Don't. Long Xuanhuan couldn't help it, snatched it away, gritted his teeth and said. Do not care. He ate a lot, raised his eyes full of happiness, and said, it tastes so delicious. Junior brother Xuanhuan, you actually ate fish. You are finished. I will go back to the pond and talk about it every day. Qing Chen was holding half of a roasted suckling pig and devouring it, his mouth was full of oil when he suddenly made a joke. Lu Rang said, ahem, a friendly reminder, junior brother Qing Chen, it seems you are a monk. When Qing Chen heard this, he was startled for a moment, but then he shook his head violently and said. Master said, Buddha sits in the heart, and wine and meat pass through his intestines. Don't be afraid, don't be afraid. He keeps eating hard. On the other side, Nanfan, Xiling, Xining, etc. were surrounding Li Fan. Li Fan was wearing an apron and holding a leaf fan, as professional as a street vendor selling mutton skewers. Li Fan grilled the meat much more delicately than Duguyuking and others. The meat he grilled on a special grill was golden, crispy, and just right. The duck meat was sprinkled with cumin and other ingredients, and the aroma was fragrant. Zhang Li followed him, helping him, handing him meat skewers, etc. Master, it's me, it's me. Xiling drooled. Li Fan smiled and handed her a duck leg, and Xiling ate it happily. I also want. Nanfan also got another duck leg. Although Xianning is small, her appetite is really big. She was chewing half a roast chicken by herself. Even Gong Ya, who has always been dignified, couldn't help but join in and eat meat. Seeing the cheerful scene of everyone fighting for it, Li Fan felt even more happy and found a long-lost happiness. Woof! At this moment, the little black dog who was fighting with Wu Dade suddenly sensed something and suddenly raised his eyes and looked towards the woods. Woof, woof woof woof. At this moment, the little black dog seemed to be very scared and kept backing away. Wu Dade got up, still holding the brick in his hand, and murmured to himself, I'll blow your ass off. But then he also saw the girl and the old man coming from the opposite side. Wu Dade was startled for a moment. He felt something was wrong, so he hurried over and said. Master, yes, someone is coming. He pointed at the old man and the girl in the white dress. There seemed to be a hint of urgency in his words, causing all the disciples who were eating, drinking and having fun to look back. Huh? This, the aura of the immortal king. Xianning glanced at the white tiger immortal king, and a look of caution flashed in his eyes for the first time. Her eyes immediately fell on the girl in the white dress, and she was even more stunned. I can't see through the depth at all, who is she? Immortal king, be careful, everyone. Duguyuking also immediately transmitted the message. He was staring at the white tiger Immortal King. Is it an enemy? If it is an enemy, I will copy the guy. It's a pity that I didn't bring any grass. Lu Rang even sent a message directly. Master, this. Nanfan looked at Li Fan. Suddenly an immortal king and a girl in a white dress who couldn't see through appeared in front of her, making them all wary. Li Fan was also stunned for a moment. Why did everyone stop? Aren't there just an old man and a young man? These disciples are very afraid of life. He immediately said, everyone continues to eat meat, don't worry about it. After hearing what Li Fan said, all the disciples who were a little nervous instantly relaxed. It seems that the problem is not big. Li Fan walked over with a faint smile and said, may I ask you to, are you here for business? Seeing Li Fan, the white tiger Immortal King was shocked all over and his pupils shrank. Sky. He couldn't see through the young man in front of him who was dressed in a very smoky style. It feels like facing the master. Horrible person. Absolutely terrifying person. Most likely it is an existence that stands, in the holy way. At the same time, he also felt a familiar aura, and when he looked at it, he saw a white cat behind him. That. The ultimate ancestral blood. The white tiger Immortal King took a breath of air. This must be his descendant. I didn't expect to meet you here. At this moment, he suddenly understood everything. No wonder, one of his descendants can actually give birth to a bloodline of the highest level. With such terrifying characters, anything is possible. This is not surprising. Although he recognized his descendant, he immediately held his breath and did not dare to say a word, let alone step forward to recognize him. He knew that in front of the two peerless bosses, the master and the young man in front of him, he was just a scumbag and had no chance to speak at all. If he could, he would even hide as far away as he could. The girl in the white dress looked at Li Fan, her clear and bright eyes suddenly filled with surprise. Li Fan is wearing an apron. Holding a cattail leaf fan to fan the fire in his hand. He looks exactly like an ordinary person. However, even I can't seem to see his depth. How can this be? How could such a person exist in this world? The most powerful person from the world of the sun. She murmured in her mind. How could the most powerful man in the world of the world appear here? Could it be? Could it be that they were the big demons who were being hunted and had to flee into the underworld to escape? Thinking of this, her heart suddenly shook. This is the only possibility. According to legend, in the underworld, some big demons who are chased by major forces often have no way to escape and often escape into the underworld. And those big demons are all extremely vicious, and even many powerful forces in the underworld are helpless. Thinking of this, a flash of fear suddenly flashed in her heart. It's over, you've met the big devil? This kind of character, if placed in the human world, would shake things up. In this world, if the other party wants to kill you, all it takes is a thought. She immediately regretted it, she was impulsive, so impulsive. Why come to die? Her heart was agitated, and she was extremely worried, but she still said bravely. You are the big devil, no, are you Xiao Li? She was so nervous that her words were confused. Li Fan smiled and said, it's me. What? Have you gone to the village to look for me? Is something wrong? The girl in the white dress saw the gentle smile on his face, but she became even more wary. In the legend, those big demons may seem gentle on the outside, but they are all murderous beings without batting an eyelid. However, she has been discovered by the other party, and she understands that she can't escape now even if she wants to. Because the level difference is too big. She gritted her teeth and decided to test it out first, then said. No, we were just passing by. I heard that the small mountain village is magical, so we came to take a look. We were really just passing by. Li Fan was confused. Passing by. Is the small mountain village magical? However, he didn't say much, he was just a guest. He immediately smiled and said, I see, I'm having a barbecue with my disciples. If you don't mind the fireworks, why not join us? The girl in the white dress trembled in her heart. What does this big devil want to do? Let yourself barbecue together? Could it be that the other party is doing some evil ritual? She was afraid. However, she did not dare to refuse. She knew that such a big devil would kill anyone immediately if he was unhappy. She could only say with a hint of trembling, I can refuse. But before she could finish her words, she saw a hint of doubt in Li Fan's eyes, so she immediately changed her words and said, I can join, absolutely yes, I absolutely can. She gritted her teeth as if to cheer herself up. The white tiger immortal king next to him also felt the meaning of his master's words and was even more shocked. What's going on? His master is actually afraid of the young man in front of him. Sky. What level should the other party be? Unimaginable. At this moment, he was even more reserved. Li Fan smiled and said, That's good, come over and let's be together. The girl in the white dress had no choice but to bravely follow her. Here, try this. Li Fan picked up a few slices of perfectly grilled pork belly from the barbecue grill, put them on a plate and handed them to the girl in the white dress, while also handing the girl in the white dress a pair of chopsticks. The girl in the white dress was afraid. It's over. Poison. It must be some kind of poison. Maybe, after eating it, you will turn into some kind of monster. She freely inhales the wind and drinks the dew. She has never seen anything like this before. However, feeling the big devil's gaze on her, she reluctantly picked up a piece of meat and put it into her mouth. But, the next moment, the taste of barbecue blooms in your mouth. No, why is this poison so delicious? She was shocked. This was the first piece of barbecue she had eaten in her life. It's not right for you to eat like this. Li Fan smiled and put a piece of pork belly that was just right into a piece of lettuce. The leaves of the lettuce wrapped the oily pork belly. He handed it to the girl in the white dress and said, Try again. The girl looked at the barbecue wrapped in lettuce with a hint of greed in her eyes. No. He is the Demon King. This must be some kind of poison, but why is it so spicy and delicious? She hesitated. I didn't want to eat it myself, I was forced to, I wanted to protect myself. What the big devil said, I dare not listen. Finally she couldn't bear it any longer, so she immediately took it, put it in her mouth, and started chewing. Wow! The next moment, the girl was pleasantly surprised and said, Isn't it so delicious? The key is that I don't seem to have any poisoning reaction. No wonder Grandpa once said that the devil is good at confusing people's hearts. He must be confusing me. The girl began to struggle in her heart. Could it be that the effect of this poison is to make you want to eat more and more? She hesitated, and now she was running her own technique. But I found that it had no effect at all. Could it be that it's not poison? Yes, if a big devil like this wants to kill me, he doesn't need to use poison at all, this is just a special kind of delicacy. Anyway, it's all in his hands. She was heartbroken and immediately decided not to care. Anyway, at this moment, my life is not in my own hands, but in the hands of the big devil. This ultimate enjoyment of taste was something she had never experienced before. She said weakly, Can I apply for another piece? Sure. Li Fan smiled, continued to barbecue, and said, You can eat whatever you want, we are well prepared. He continuously grills meat skewers, roast duck, pork belly, etc., all of them are delicious, and everything is extremely tempting. I want to eat this. I want to eat this. In the blink of an eye, the girl in the white dress was no longer unfamiliar, and all her attention was focused on the food. After all, what girl can resist the temptation of barbecue? No, absolutely not. If there is, it must be that the meat is not roasted enough. When the white tiger immortal king saw this scene, he was also stunned. After following his master for tens of thousands of years, he has never seen his master so happy. Obviously these foods are just ordinary elixirs and spirit beasts. Why is the master, a supreme being who drinks immortal liquid and nectar and swallows the ways of heaven and earth, so excited? He is even fighting for meat with his disciples. He doesn't understand. Really don't understand. Old man, do you want to eat too? If you are worried about indigestion, you can eat some vegetarian food. Li Fan smiled and spoke to the white tiger immortal king. This old man was an eyesore just standing there. Hearing this, the white tiger immortal king looked shocked, and his heart was shocked. The young man in front of him was indeed a being who could chat and laugh with his master. He said that he had poor digestion. Apparently he could see at a glance that he was absorbing a Tao stone given by his previous master and was stuck in a bottleneck. The white tiger immortal king glanced at his master, but his master was now completely addicted to food and had no time to care about him. He silently bowed to the scary young man wearing an apron in front of him, then really went to the side and started eating some vegetarian barbecue. Baked potatoes or something like that. Old man, do you still have teeth? It's boring to just be a vegetarian. Try this. Lu Rang was very carefree and handed over a pig's trotter. In normal times, who would dare to be so casual with the white tiger immortal king? I'm afraid he has become a scumbag long ago, but now the white tiger immortal king is frightened and stands up in a hurry, saying, "Thank you, sir, thank you, sir, I still have a few teeth left." He took the pig's trotters, thought about it, and immediately made up his mind. Never mind, even the owner is getting along with them, so they must be friendly forces. And these young men and women in front of me, although their cultivation level has not yet improved, are the disciples of such terrifying people. If we make good friends, there will be great benefits in the future. The white tiger immortal king gnawed on the pig's trotters, and it tasted delicious. He quickly finished gnawing, and shouted, it smells so good. Master, give me 2 more pig knuckles." Everyone was a little shocked when they saw this. Is this immortal king a bit different? However, no one paid much attention and immediately continued eating and playing around. And at this moment, this mountain range is underground. A ball of white fleshy material rose rapidly. Gradually, it was about to break through the earth. Bang! With splashes of water, it finally burst out of a pool and appeared in the air. Feeling the breath of the outside world and this white substance, I was overjoyed and very excited inside. This heaven is mine. I want to devour all the creatures in this world and re-establish the Hongmeng Avenue, ha, ha ha ha. Xuanhuan was ecstatic and extremely proud. However, immediately after, it felt something strange. By the pool. Not far away. On the green grass. A group of men and women. Currently. Eat barbecue. Now. Look at it. Xuanhuan just swept away with his spiritual thoughts. At this moment, his heart collapsed instantly. What a fool. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 210. Li Fan and others were having barbecue. Unexpectedly, the water pool over there suddenly exploded. This shocked everyone. A group of white matter appeared in the air. Huh? What is that? Long Xuanhuan was confused. There's an, almost aura of an immortal king. Nanfan was shocked. Is this? Xianning's eyes were shocked. As for the white tiger immortal king, the pig's trotters in his hand subconsciously fell to the ground, and he murmured. Hongmeng ectoplasm. Is this Hongmeng ectoplasm? He is a strong one among the immortal kings and knows many secrets. Therefore, he understood that after the death of some immortal kings, they would be reorganized by heaven and earth, chaos would reopen, and turn into chaotic spiritual matter. This is an extremely rare thing in the world. Although it has lost all consciousness and has become an ownerless thing, no different from a piece of grass or a fruit tree on the roadside, it still contains some terrifying imprints of the Great Road. Even an immortal king-level figure would break his head and fight for this kind of thing when he sees it, because getting it means that he can understand the way of another immortal king. Now, in this place, in the pool, a group of people suddenly appeared. Li Fan looked at the Hongmeng spiritual essence in the sky and was puzzled for a moment, then said. Why hasn't it fallen yet? If an object rises to a certain height, it will definitely fall. Because, according to the laws of physics, after all kinetic energy is converted into gravitational potential energy, free fall will occur. But this white thing seemed to be hanging in the air, so Li Fan was confused. But as his words rang out, in mid-air, the blood shadow suddenly felt a terrifying power, as if the great law was intended to oppress it, and it instantly fell to the ground. God, his words follow the law. How could it be like this? The blood shadow was shocked. It noticed Lu Rang and Dugu Yuking, and was even more shocked in an instant. When Huang Tianzhou Immortal Dao Palace appeared before, it rushed there and saw Lu Rang and Dugu Yuking. The terrifying existence behind these two people is here. At this moment, Xueying's soul was trembling. It clearly felt that there were countless terrifying avenues in this area, which made it unable to move. Immortal level. Immortal king level. There are even two that surpass the immortal king. What the hell did I do? Xueying collapsed at this moment. Obviously, he had been waiting for the opportunity for so long, and finally waited until the power of blood resentment was born in the heart of the first immortal king of heaven, and then took the opportunity to wipe out the instinct of the heart and turn it into the purest Hongmeng spiritual substance. He obviously only needs to improve his strength step by step, and then with the help of Hongmeng spiritual quality, he can regain the power of the first immortal king of the heaven in the past. However, as soon as he was born, just encounter this kind of existence. God, are you kidding me? The blood shadow wants to cry but has no tears. At this moment, everyone who was having a barbecue looked at the mass of matter here with solemn expressions. What exactly is this? It's so strange. Why do you give me such a pure and bloody feeling? Many disciples are confused. But Li Fan came over, looked at the white substance on the ground, his eyes lit up, and he picked it up. This is Tai Sui. Li Fan smiled and said. On weekdays, it's hard to find Tai Sui even if you search all over the mountains and rivers. Unexpectedly, he actually showed up today. You're pretty lucky. When he took a look, this thing looked so much like the Tai Sui he had seen on TV in his previous life. In some TV programs or news in the previous life, it often appeared that a certain old farmer dug out Tai Sui and bought tens of millions of dollars. Li Fan had also seen the news. So he knew that Tai Sui is also called meat Ganoderma. Moreover, this kind of meat Ganoderma is said to have great tonic effects, so it is very popular. Huh? Why are there still some bloodshot eyes? Li Fan looked at it and patted the Ganoderma lucidum. No. A soul screamed out, and an invisible blood shadow was shot away by Li Fan twice. In an instant, everyone in the field was shocked. What kind of evil thing has infected this seemingly pure thing? Lu Rang was surprised. No wonder it makes me feel extremely pure and evil and bloody at the same time. It turns out that there is an evil spirit occupying it. Nanfeng murmured. And the white tiger immortal king even shrank his pupils. Then, why does that blood shadow make me feel familiar, as if I have seen the first heaven in the past? Could it be that the blood shadow was born from the chaos in the first heaven? That's an evil shadow with enough power to be at the level of a heavenly king. He murmured, shocked. An existence of this level had just been wiped out by Li Fan with a gentle pat. The soul is gone. It's terrible, it's terrible. The eyes of the white tiger immortal king were extremely solemn, and he swallowed a mouthful of saliva. What are you going to do with this thing? At this moment, the girl in the white dress looked at Li Fan doubtfully. She had just been addicted to eating meat, and there was still a trace of chili pepper on her red lips. Li Fan smiled and said, "This stuff is pretty good. It's a pity to waste ingredients of this level. Of course it's roasted and eaten." Li Fan spoke, he hadn't eaten tai sui yet. Moreover, he believes that he must be the first person to eat roasted tai sui. When the white tiger immortal king heard this, his legs went weak. That's an immortal king level substance, in other people's eyes, it's just food. Fortunately, this expert does not have the habit of eating tigers. He was very happy. "Gong Ya, bring the knife." Li Fan spoke. Immediately, Gong Ya, who was stunned, quickly reacted and handed the knife to Li Fan. Li Fan put the huge tai sui on the chopping board and immediately cut it into small pieces. "Come on, bake them all and try them." Li Fan distributed it to many disciples. Many disciples were a little surprised and confused when they saw this. "Xining, what on earth is this?" Lu Rang asked Xianning's message. They all knew that Xianning was well informed. Xianning had a complicated look on her face and said, "If your guess is correct, this should be the Hongmeng spiritual essence formed after the death of the immortal king. In the immortal realm, the appearance of a small piece is enough to trigger a war between the immortal kings." Hearing this, a group of disciples were shocked and dumbfounded. This kind of treasure. Actually, he was cut into pieces by his master now. Cut into meat? Are you ready to bake it? Too cruel. I think this is more acceptable than grilling dragons and phoenixes. At this time, Dugu Yuking said something complicated and authentic. Upon hearing this, everyone felt that it was completely acceptable. There is no harm without comparison. After all, Master had prepared to barbecue the real dragon and phoenix before. Damn it, let me try it. Lu Rang started baking directly. This thing is a creature of creation, it is a great supplement when eaten raw. Lin Zhuchen murmured, and he swallowed a piece alive. Boom. Suddenly, his aura rose directly. From the original realm of heavenly immortal, he climbed all the way up to the perfection of Tai Golden Immortal. Seeing this, everyone was shocked. This thing is so effective. Eat it when it's cooked. At this time, Li Fan reminded him and said, "It would be bad if there were parasites. These disciples are not particular. Even if it is Tai Sui or Ganoderma lucidum, you cannot eat it like this." After hearing this, everyone immediately followed Li Fan's wishes and started to barbecue. Not long after, a different kind of fragrance spread throughout the venue. "It smells so good, it smells so good. It has the aroma of barbecue and the aroma of elixir, it's amazing. My rub is so delicious, it tastes better than meat." In an instant, a group of disciples all ate it. "Give me another piece. I also want." Woof woof woof. All kinds of fighting sounds sounded. Li Fan also smiled. It seems that this thing is really good when baked. He immediately started grilling the meat with great care. Fortunately, the meat was big enough, so everyone could share a lot. Not long after, he was done baking it too. Ziling, Nanfeng, Xianning, Gongya, etc. rushed to try it. "It's so delicious. This is the most delicious thing I have ever eaten. Master is awesome. Zi Ling bursts with joy. Thank you, Master. After Nanfan finished eating, her aura continued to improve, and she gained a lot. After Xian Ning ate, she vaguely felt that she was more comfortable using the immortal Dao fruit and the demonic Dao fruit. Maybe it wouldn't be long before she could try the fusion of the two Dao fruits. That will be the impact of Hongmeng Avenue. After Gong Ya finished eating, her aura increased rapidly. At this moment, all kinds of auras in her body were mixed, and a burst of Xuanhuan immortal qi suddenly burst out. She proved immortality. Gong Ya has also become a demon king. Everyone looked over in shock. I just ate some, and I achieved immortality. It is truly a treasure from heaven and earth. Long Zixuan looked complicated. In fact, he felt that his dragon soul was improving again, and it seemed that he could step into the door at any time. Sister Gong Ya has already been outside that door, not surprising. Zi Ling spoke sweetly, her aura was about to become a heavenly king now. It seems that I can take a step forward, but now is not the time. Qing Chen also murmured, but he chose not to break through for the time being. All disciples have made great progress. Even Bai Xiaoqing, after eating the roasted tai sui, rolled around like a meow. Her spiritual energy was so strong that she was almost on the verge of becoming a real king. When the White Tiger Immortal King saw the whole process, his face was extremely complicated. These young people have a lot of blessings, right? To be able to become a disciple of such an existence. Fortunately, there is still a descendant in his clan who can compete with such a being and be a pet. Looking at it from this point of view, in fact, his lineage can be regarded as having great luck. Thinking of this, he looked at Bai Xiaoking's old eyes, which were full of praise and doting. How smart he is to be able to find such a big man to hug him and keep him as a pet. This status is simply too high, so high that I feel envious and want to cry. In contrast, if you act as a watchdog for others, the immortal king is really a living dog. He sighed and was sad. Old man, would you like a piece? At this time, Du Guyuking also handed a piece to the White Tiger Immortal King. They are all quite generous, because there is enough tai sui meat tube, and if each person eats one piece, the effect is almost the same as eating two pieces, not additive. Seeing this, the White Tiger Immortal King was shocked. Can such a treasure be given to him? You're welcome, eat. Lu Rang and others also spoke. The White Tiger Immortal King took the roasted Hongmeng spiritual essence with trembling hands, feeling extremely excited inside. Look at people, Hongmeng spiritual essence is used to entertain guests. This net worth is too rich. He ate it in one bite and instantly felt infinite, as if he was getting a glimpse of another avenue. At this moment, the woman in the white dress was coerced by the big devil and ate 2 pieces of Hongmeng spiritual essence. This taste is really great. Even though she felt it was poison in her heart, she couldn't help but shout out how delicious it was. She walked to Li Fan and said, Can I try baking it? She seemed to feel that the food was not enough, and she wanted to bake it. Li Fan smiled, handed her an apron, and said, tie this on. After all, the fireworks are quite big. The girl in the white dress nodded, but she couldn't tie the apron with her backhand. I'll help you. Li Fan pulled both sides of the apron string and pulled it back gently. The girl's small waist was immediately highlighted, which made Li Fan's heart skip a beat. He tied an apron on the girl in the white dress. Haha, it's time for me to grill, come and eat. She was so excited as she flipped the meat on the grill and waited. Now, she seems to have put that fear to the back of her mind. Li Fan also smiled. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Gui Xian. Chapter 211. After a long time. On Fangkaudi, everyone was already very full. Wu Date and the little black dog lay lazily together. Several disciples, including Du Guyuqing, Lin Zhichuan, Zhang Li, and Lu Rang, gathered together to discuss the Great Way. Xiling Nanfan and others were also well fed, with happy smiles on their faces. The girl in the white dress wiped the sweat from her beautiful face with a smile on her face. She looked at the roasted meat in front of her and seemed to have a great sense of accomplishment. So fun. She smiled and wiped the sweat from her face. She now feels that this big devil is not that evil. Are you really just treating yourself to something? She turned around and said. Take off your apron for me. Li Fan stretched out his hand to untie her and said with a smile. It's fun, but it's a pity that your hair will get oily easily while barbecuing. The girl in the white dress smiled and said. Then I'll go wash it off. She immediately walked to the edge of the pool and let her long hair fall into the water. In an instant, it bloomed like snow trees and silver flowers, which was so beautiful. At this moment, under the setting sun, the water in the pool was clear and sparkling. She was sitting on a big rock beside the pool, gently tilting her head, letting the black hair fall down, and washing it gently, which was very beautiful. She is so beautiful. Xiling was painting while covering her bulging belly. She wanted to use her brush to capture the beauty of this moment, but when she painted the girl in the white dress by the lake, she felt a little envious and confused. She was surprised to find that her brush seemed unable to draw the other person. Because all painting methods are based on observation. Only by grasping the most primitive rules of heaven and earth can we use brush and ink as we wish. However, the girl in front of her made her realize that she could not see clearly or see through. When she observed carefully, the other person seemed to have turned into a white cloud. Misty and distant. This stopped her from writing. Can't you continue painting? Li Fan smiled, stepped forward immediately, and said. Let me try. Hearing this, Xiling happily stepped aside and could watch the teacher paint again. Li Fan glanced towards the pool, with a hint of appreciation in his eyes. It is indeed beautiful. She seemed to make that space so harmonious. Li Fan's writing style is tactful. A beautiful shadow instantly appeared on the drawing board. In the rest of the painting, there are people painted by Xiling, Nanfeng playing the piano, Wu Date fighting with the little black dog, Zhang Li thinking deeply about the chessboard, etc. The position slightly further away was painted by Li Fan. There is a waterfall, a pool of clear water, and a beautiful silhouette. Just like perfection. That's great. Xiling looked at this transformation and was so impressed that she was speechless. She even felt that the woman in the painting was clearly alive. Even the girl in the white dress who had just washed her hair by the pool of water suddenly turned her head and looked at Li Fan in confusion. She came over and saw what was on the painting. In an instant, her entire beautiful face was slightly shocked as she looked deeply at the painting. The person in the painting is beautiful and natural, with a curvaceous figure accompanied by the waves of the water. How is it? Is my master's painting perfect? This painting filled Xiling with a sense of intoxication. The girl in the white dress looked at the painting and couldn't help but be stunned. What a perfect painting! She couldn't help but murmur, and then her heart tightened. No, why do I feel that there seems to be a trace of my life imprint in it? At this moment, she felt something was wrong. It's over, have you finally seen the great demon king? She was suddenly shocked. The other party's methods are too terrible, isn't it? He can actually control his own life mark by painting? Even the big shots in the world can't do it. It's over, he can use my life mark to control me at any time. At this moment, she finally understood why those people were called devils. It's so fierce, so vicious. It's getting late, let's go back. At this moment, Li Fan spoke. Good. Go back to the village. Immediately, a group of disciples gathered their things. Girl, it's getting late. Our master and apprentice are preparing to return to the village. I wonder what the girl is here to see Li for. Li Fan also looked at the girl in the white dress and asked seriously. He still didn't believe that the other party would really come to play with him. A strange girl came to play with me? This is a plot that only occurs in telecommunications fraud. Seeing the serious look on Li Fan's face, the girl in the white dress became more and more frightened. Will the big devil finally reveal his true face? Sure enough, everything just now was staged. Did you give yourself delicious food before to let yourself relax your vigilance and take control of your own life imprint? How scary. She was scared. The other party wasn't going to kill someone and silence them, right? After all, those big demons generally have many enemies in the underworld. If the enemies in the underworld know about it, it is not safe to hide in the underworld. She was extremely scared at the time and said uneasily. I know where you are from, but I won't tell. However, despite being calm on the outside, she was already panicking inside. I really won't say it out loud. Do not kill me. Her heart nearly jumped out of her throat. But when Li Fan heard this, he was also shocked. What? This girl has seen through her identity as a time traveler? No way, right? This all works. It seems like you are not exposed. There was a slight shock in his eyes. If his identity as a time traveler was exposed, he would be in danger. After all, in this world where immortals and demons are rampant, there are so many cultivators, there must be people who are interested in such things as time travel, but I am powerless. Cliff will be arrested and studied. He panicked and hurriedly whispered. I'm just an ordinary person. I believe you won't tell anyone. What do you want? Did the other party say they won't tell anyone? Li Fan doesn't believe it. Now that she has discovered her identity, Li Fan has no choice but to bite the bullet and pay for the hush money to keep her from telling the truth. Although, I don't have much money either. However, for the sake of life safety, you have to give up even if you lose everything. If he hadn't felt so sorry, he would have wanted to kill someone and silence him right now. The girl in the white dress was stunned when she heard this. This big devil seems to be afraid of exposing his identity. No, this must be a performance of the devil. However, Li Fan looked at her hesitant expression and felt like he was about to lose his temper. Nima, what do you want? Why did you come to me? What do you want? Li Fan couldn't help but urge. Auntie, that's not the way to torture people. I was almost so nervous that I died. When the girl in the white dress heard the impatience in Li Fan's words, her heart suddenly trembled, and she almost cried out of fear. It's over, the big devil is angry. I'm really just passing by. I'm here to see the butterflies. I'm just here to see the butterflies. There was almost a cry in her words. The big devil is so angry. But Li Fan was stunned for a moment. Looking for butterflies? Auntie, can you make such a vain request? Moreover, you almost scared me to death, and you still want to perform a scene that makes me cry. Do you want to torture me to death? Li Fan was scared. However, he suddenly remembered that there seemed to be 2 butterflies in his system. He boldly said, Don't cry, isn't it just a butterfly? I'll give it to you, I'll give it to you. He gently raised his hand, and suddenly, 2 colorful butterflies flew out of his sleeves. 2 butterflies, agile and light, elegant and beautiful, instantly attracted the attention of all women when they appeared on the scene. Wow, what kind of butterfly is this? Isn't it so beautiful? Zi Ling's big eyes sparkled. Nanfan's beautiful eyes were also filled with brilliance. Gongya and Xianning stared at butterfly, but their eyes were even more shocked. This butterfly, its wings flickered slightly, as if the avenue was moving with it. King Chen's face froze. Master is really terrible. He can give out Tengu, ancient demonic spider, etc. at will. Now, he can even take out such terrifying butterflies. Duguyuking looked complicated. Is this one of the 7 legendary divine butterflies? The white tiger immortal king was even more frightened in his eyes. These 2 colorful butterflies reminded him of one of the most famous butterflies in the legend. Colorful butterfly. The girl in the white dress looked at the 2 butterflies flying between Li Fan's fingers, her beautiful eyes instantly bloomed, and her tears turned into laughter. Don't you want butterflies, are these 2 enough? Li Fan asked weakly. Hearing this, the girl in the white dress was startled. Damn, the devil actually gave him butterflies. No way, no way. No. She just wanted to speak. Not enough. Li Fandeo, is 4 okay? The girl in the white skirt was even more frightened. That's not what she wanted to say. She said hurriedly. No. Not enough. 6. 8. I'll give you a bunch of them, okay? Li Fan was so anxious that he almost collapsed. The girl in the white skirt was already frightened and did not dare to speak. She could only nod like a chicken pecking at rice. You are so scary, so whatever you say will be whatever you say, anyway, I am not qualified to make the decision. Li Fan finally breathed a sigh of relief when he saw this. Finally got it done. I only have these 2 for now. I'll use them as a deposit first and pay for the rest later, okay? He had no choice but to make an IOU first. There are several kinds of butterflies in the system. You only need to complete the corresponding tasks to obtain them, and you don't have to actually flutter around with butterflies. How dare the girl in the white dress refuse the strange request made by the big devil? She continued to nod like a chicken pecking at rice. Li Fan immediately let out a long breath. He finally got it done. He said. It's a deal. I give you a bunch of butterflies and you keep my secret. Stretch out your hand. When Li Fan spoke, he was afraid that the girl would regret it. The girl stretched out her slender hand fearfully and approached Li Fan's hand. In an instant, one of the 2 colorful butterflies landed on her hand. Colorful butterflies are extremely beautiful. One stopped on Li Fan's hand, and the other stopped on the hand of the girl in the white dress. Huh? Don't you want to leave? Li Fan gently reached over and touched the hand of the girl in the white dress. He felt her hands, warm and delicate. At this moment, the long eyelashes of the girl in the white dress suddenly trembled slightly. The butterfly on his hand immediately landed on her hand. Li Fan stretched out his hand, looked at her and said. Remember, this is a secret between you and me. Okay, deal. He was really afraid that this girl would regret it. If the time comes and everyone talks about his identity as a time traveler, it will be over. When the girl in the white dress heard this, she didn't know what she thought of, and her face suddenly turned slightly red. It's getting late, you guys should go back quickly, you should be able to pick up the butterflies in a month. Li Fan continued. Good. The girl in the white dress nodded and looked at the 2 butterflies on her hands. Although she was still scared, she couldn't help but show a hint of love in her eyes. She turned and left. The white tiger immortal king also hurriedly followed her. Correct. At this time, the girl in the white dress suddenly turned back and said. You, what's your name? Li Fan was startled for a moment and said. Li Fan. Li Fan. The girl muttered something in a low voice and suddenly said. My name is Yungzi. Then, remember, I will lead a group of butterflies in a month. After she finished, she turned around and left. After the girl in the white dress and others left, Li Fan and others also set off back to the village. Leaving the lush green mountains, the infinite light of the setting sun falls on the earth, beautiful and gentle. The sunset is really beautiful. Zi Ling couldn't help but sigh, if she hadn't returned to the village, she would have wanted to paint again. The sunset is infinitely beautiful, but it's almost dusk. Li Fan felt something in his heart. Extreme joy brings sorrow, and gathering together less and leaving more is the normal state of life. He has always understood that beauty and happiness are always short-lived. But he just hoped that there would be more days like today. Isn't life just about these simple but happy and warm moments that allow people to use courage to overcome difficulties and obstacles? I just hope that my disciples will be able to have a smooth journey in the future and not suffer too many setbacks and hardships. He let out a long sigh and said, "Let's go." And at this moment, Northern Immortal Territory, Northern Xinjiang, a huge tsunami happened. It's not good, it's not good. Something big happened to the Immortal Lord's soul lamp, something big happened. In Lanmingxian City, an old immortal general trembled and shouted, and ran out of the soul lamp palace in a state of pee, shouting miserably. The Immortal Lord may have become a slave in the restricted area. In an instant, the entire Lanming Immortal City was shaken violently. What's going on? Why is the Immortal Lord's soul lamp so weird? It turned into a faint blue color, flickering on and off. Did the Immortal Lord encounter something strange? In Yunfan Immortal City, a group of elders looked at Immortal Yunfan's soul lantern and looked at each other with extreme horror in their eyes. The fireworks of the soul lantern turn blue and switch between on and off. This often means that the person represented by the soul lantern is not dead yet, but is no longer the original person. Life, alienation. Why hasn't the Immortal Lord come back yet? I couldn't get in touch with him through various means. In Guangzhou Fairy City, a group of old men looked anxious. They originally gathered here, waiting for the order from the Immortal Lord of Light, and they immediately led people to the lower realm to build a fairy city in the lower realm. Everything is ready, all we need is the order from the Immortal Lord, but we can't contact him. Nothing like this has ever happened. No, something happened to the Immortal Lord's soul lamp. A cultivator ran in panic. Hearing this, the group of old men all looked shocked. They hurried to the hall where the soul lamp was enshrined. When they saw the soul lamp in the hall, a group of old men all gasped. The soul lamp turns on and off, and the lamp flame turns blue. Is this life alienation? An old man spoke in a daze. No, it's impossible. The Immortal Lord is just going to the lower realm. How could he encounter such weirdness? Where is the restricted area in the lower realm? It's over, it's really over. No wonder I can't contact the Immortal Lord. Everyone was stunned and almost trembling. Report to Immortal King Xianming, this matter must be reported to Immortal King Xianming immediately. An old man reacted and shouted hurriedly. The Immortal Lord Guangming is the direct descendant of the Immortal King Xianming in the northern border of the Northern Immortal Territory. When such a big thing happens, Guangzhou Fairy City is no longer capable of handling it. Shortly after, in a vast fairyland. Above this fairyland, it is like a sun that will never disappear. This fairyland is called Xianming. Xianming Immortal King is one of the Immortal Kings in the Northern Territory of the Northern Immortal Territory. In the Northern Territory, he is even known as the Great Sun that never falls. Today, a message was quickly spread into the capital of the Immortal Kingdom, Xianming Immortal City. No, something happened to Immortal Illumination. In an instant, the fairyland was shaken.